Good morning, sir, and whoever who's watching this. Today, in this presentation, I'm going to talk about jobs and occupations. And some of the points of the presentations are dangerous and safest jobs, what the jobs involves, why it is dangerous or safe, interesting occupation, and work experience. The first dangerous job I have decided to talk. It's emergency medical technician, also called the EMT. This job is basically to focus to respond emergency calls and provide efficient and immediate care. But they also transport the patient to a medical facility. Why does it dangerous? This job, the workers of, of this job face the danger every time they receive a call, an emergency call, and even if even when they are working to save life, they are putting their own life in danger. Some of the points of dangers of this job are the vehicle collision. A CDC report says that 45% of EMT workers' deaths are because are produced by the vehicle collision. Some of the dangerous points are the exposure that the EMT workers are to the blood. They are in risk to get any kind of infection. They also uh, how they are working in indoor and outdoor environment. They are exposed to hazardous chemicals. Uh, and they in this work the workers are have a big exposure to loud noises. Meanwhile, they are going to some point. They are closest to iron horns, apparent engineers, sirens, and sometimes the power tools they use to force it, the entry and and by the penetration work. The last point is the phy- physical stresses. Some of these EMT workers suffer of emotional and mental trauma after deal with a life or death situation. Sometimes some of these workers uh, list a post-traumatic stress disorder. They can suffer severe anxiety, nightmares, and depression. The other job, this dangerous job I have decided to talk, is refuse and recyclable materials collector. This job is basically focuses to store items set out for recycling through materials into a designated truck compartment. But also they have to organize schedules, refuel trucks, and other necessary fluids. They have to operate equipment that compress what they have collected. But another thing that they have to do is they have to know how's the route that they are going to take. It is because if some of the road has any kind of deficient, they have to take another route, and also they need to know how the weather is, because some of the why does it dangerous? The regardless of weather, why they need to know how the weather is. In the hot months in summer, they need to They need to stay constantly hydrated in order to avoid a heart attack. And in winter, they need to take the necessary precautions to avoid a frostbite, and that is a very serious risk in the cold months. They are also exposed to hazardous materials, even when they are collecting and separating the materials. Sometimes they don't figure out that in the trash they can be broken glasses, yes, medical needles, nails from construction debris, and so many times in the trash they are chemicals and hot coals. That and this last one have causes is fires inside the trucks, and all the time when that happened, that could became in a very dangerous situation very fast. These are some of the hazardous materials they are exposed during this job. Another point, and the last point, why this job is dangerous is by the physically taxing. These workers spend all the day with a team driving and riding a truck, collecting materials, increasing the risks in a transportation related accident. But when they are picking up and dumping trash bins over and over for hours each day, that is physically taxing. And sometimes they are distracted or careless drivers who wants to get quickly to the destination. The driver can hit a worker who's loading materials into the back of the truck. Simply for not paying attention. These kind of accidents are very common in this industry. Then I almost forgot. Some of the people who don't really know this job forget that this job sometimes start before the sunrise. They are recycling collector whose they they start in the middle of the night. The commercial driver often start their route before the 2 a.m. And the safest job that I wanted to talk, I have searching on internet what kind of jobs are safest, and I found a table where it says that translation it was between 10 of the safest job. So I have decided to talk about this. Translation. What this work is basically focused to convert information from one language language to another. But this career is more than just finding the right words in one language. They had to carry on the ideas behind them. Why does it say? Even if this work is only focused to translate from a foreign language back to into their mother tongue, this career is a safe job. It could be stressing, but it's safe. There are not danger doing this job. Some of the places where a translator can work are school, hospital, courtrooms, meeting rooms, and conference centers. And some of these places can be dangerous to work, but at the end, the job is not dangerous. One of the good points why I say this job is not dangerous is because you can work as a freelance translator, and being a freelance translator, you can work in companies. No, like being translator, you can work in companies, individual organization, or with private client. But most of the translator work being self-employed, being translator. Uh, this is something good because you can work at your home, in your home, and they are not a risk being doing this job in your home, and you are able to choose which job you want to work on. You are your own boss, and you have the freedom and flexibility to do to do the work as as you wanted it to do it. And now I'm going to talk interesting occupation, but I'm not alone in this. I'm going to do it with my brother Andrew. Hey, so Andrew, tell me, what occupation is interesting to you? Well, I really like tourism as an interesting occupation because it is a very emotional and enthusiastic job. So we could say that you would like to work as a touristic guide. I will love to have a job being a touristic guide. In this job, they usually make special trips with groups and touristic in order to show them important places of the cities. Their work is very useful for visitors who are for the first time in some areas. And what are some of the skills of a touristic guide? Well, basically, the people who works as a touristic guide must be flexible and proactive, enthusiastic and friendly. They have to have excellent knowledge about the touristic point of the specific cities. And the most important is being able to work with a team. Sometimes some of them should speak more than one language. That sounds good. But do you have any of those skills? I could say that I have all of them. I have been already searching what kind of job they have to do. So what will you have to do being a touristic guide? Well, if I will work in a travel industry, I will have to take the touristic group to interesting points like natural attractions, historic sites, museums, scenic locations, and other traveling destinations, giving them enlightening information of each point. And what else will you must do? Some guys gives walking tours, bus tours, or even lead river tours on a boat. So probably I will have to do that too. Why does this like you that much? Well, with this work, I will see more countries and cities than I ever thought possible. I will live in a dream. I will become an expert on history, art, and architecture. I can save money while I'm traveling. My college will be just like me, and I will have friends all around the world. Well, I think at the end that is a good career for you. I can notice you are very excited with this. I wish you the best. I know you can do it. Thanks, sir. I know someday I will make it. Well, now I am with Henry and Andrew, and they are going to answer me some question about their work experience. And so, what do you do as an occupation, Henry? Well, I'm a student at INEGAT. I'm studying English-Spanish translation. And have you ever had a work? Yeah, I have. Once I worked as a shop assistant at Fashion Park. How long did you work there? I worked there for 3 months because at the end I applied for a better job and I got it. What about you, Andrew? Have you worked during this last month? No, I haven't. But once I worked as a casino assistant at Sodexo, and I got a job at basement. After I was a laundry manager. And how do you become a laundry manager? Well, my supervisors saw a good performance in me because of the attitude and the way and the way how I did things. What's the salary like then? In that position, I ended up to 3 times what I previously earned. And what about you, Henry? Did you earn more changing jobs? Actually, I didn't. I earned a little less of my previous job, but this one, it wasn't stressful and boring. In this job, I really felt like in family. What are the best aspects of this new job? Well, in the latest job, my boss psyched me out, and he never left me do nothing without his permission. Once he even blames me for stealing clothes from the store. Now I understand the reason why you decided to change your work. But tell me, what's your mom's occupation? My mom works as a food handler at the village school. And where is the school located? The first town get into the third region. And you, Andrew? Where does your father works? My father works at a mining company in the north, but I don't know much about him. Oh, I understand, Andrew.